Franchise.
Get in like the Marines.
Franchise.
Yeah.
Franchise.
We're in.
Franchise. Franchise the damn thing.
Guys, we're gonna have to. I didn't hit record.
What? What don't you understand? You got any idea? It's distracting having someone not record while we're rolling in the middle of the pod. Give me a answer. What don't you get about it?
I was looking at the light wasn't on.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was good because it's useless now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's useless.
Sake, man, you're amateur. Paul, you got something to say about this prick?
I didn't see it happen.
Well, someone should be watching and keeping an eye on him.
Fair enough.
It's the second time he doesn't give a about what's going on in the pod, alright? I'm trying to do a pod here, and I'm going, why the is Luke making that face at me? What is he doing there?
I'm sorry, Chris.
Hey!
Are we recording now?
We are recording now, guys. Yeah, so producer Luke here made a big error. We recorded we didn't record 45 minutes of the episode. We've already done for ourselves.
It was so good.
It was probably the best pod we've ever done.
Yeah, no, it was insane.
We've got our T800 guest, Paul. He's back on the show.
Hi, guys.
He's back.
He's back.
We all know exactly what we think about this movie. Well, at least 45 minutes of what we think about this movie.
We've talked about it.
But here we go again. We are recording this time, round 2.
I wasn't really mad at you, Luke. That was just a parody of the Christian Bale freakout. So I just want you to know I still think you're great.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Welcome to Franchise Addicts, a podcast covering every film in a given franchise. My name is Luke.
And I'm Chris.
And this week we are on to the 4th film in the Terminator franchise, Terminator Salvation. Paul is on. Paul, feel free to talk whenever you'd like.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, guys.
So the last time we didn't record this episode, we began by talking about the fact that we should be recording Terminator 3.
Oh yeah, that's right. Terminator 3. So you might be very disoriented because that opening, what's happening there? There's yelling, trigger warning. Also, why are they doing number 4? Why aren't they doing number 3? Well, guys, the Skynet of it all is that I did some research, right? I'm trying to find Terminator 3 on a streaming service. I go to Prime, not available. I go to Apple, what do they call it? Apple TV Plus, not available. I go to Fandango, not available. Skynet went online and Terminator 3 went offline. There's something in that film they don't want us to know. So, you can't stream it. So we've got, luckily Paul came to the rescue here. Paul has an old grandfathered version of it saved on his television. I also bought the DVD, but the time just did not permit us to do it in a continuous schedule. So we're going to be giving you Terminator 3 next week. Paul, how did you come across this version of streaming Terminator 3 that nobody in the world can access right now?
Yeah, I had no idea it was so unique. But it was already purchased on a Fandango account that my wife has access to. One of her friends that has about 3,500 movies and must have had that one. Doesn't have 1 or 2, has 3, 5, and 6, I believe. But it was on there. So I've already watched it actually, guys, and I'll be excited to have a little watch party with you guys sometime this week.
Yeah, so much like the opening part of this podcast, the opening bits of Terminator Salvation, especially for me, did not make any sense because I missed some contextual stuff that gets brought up in Terminator 3. But before we get that, let's introduce the movie we are actually covering. That is Salvation. It came out in 2009. It is directed by the one Mick G.
Mick G. Finally, a Mick G joint.
Absolutely. Joseph McGinty Nickel, who was given the nickname Mick G by his grandmother. Kind of a sweet story. There are other Josephs in his family, so to differentiate him from the other Josephs, he was called Mick G. and decided to keep that because when he started working in Hollywood, he thought it was a cool way to differentiate himself from other directors.
And definitely be taken seriously for his whole career.
Yeah, the problem with being and holding the moniker McG is that you better be extremely good at your job or else everyone is going to make fun of the fact that the director of your movie is named McG.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a great name. This is the moniker, McG. That's it. Just 3 letters, baby. Not amazing. He did, and when I was watching this movie, I was like, you know what? This guy has to come from music videos. And I was not wrong. He's got his start, Korn music videos, some other... late 90s, Sugar Ray, the last Sugar Ray and Korn, and other.
Did it say whether or not he
wonders.
worked with Alice in Chains?
He didn't, but
Oh, man.
we do get a nice Alice in Chains needle drop.
Rooster.
My brother used to listen to this.
Assuming that's the one that he killed, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Or
would
not
imagine-
nice.
Well, we'll get to it. So McG coming hot off of the Charlie's Angels movies. He did those 2 remakes of that famous TV show from the 70s, I believe.
Something like that.
Whatever.
Way too young.
Yeah. He then also worked on We Are Marshall, starring Matthew Fox and Matthew McConaughey.
Tearjerker.
And then was given $200 million in order to bring the Terminator movies back to the big screen. He was going to make a trilogy. This movie did so poorly. It made $350 worldwide, but after marketing and that $200 million budget, this movie did not come away with the amount of money that the studio was hoping for. And McG was asked to not work on any more movies. And his dream of doing a trilogy of his own cut short, and then Terminator kind of went into rights and production hell for a while.
Which also, I mean, so I don't know if my Skynet stuff about Terminator 3 may or may not have been true, but what I think is true is the licensing and the rights to the Terminator franchise are very messy. Is that right?
Yeah, so this franchise, from its conception, has been passed around by different production companies, different distribution companies. So that's why Terminator 3 is not available on a lot of streaming services. It's why they're kind of split between, I believe, the Terminator, we could only watch it on Paramount.
Yeah, then there's some on Max. Like this Salvation was on Max. Yeah, they're kind of all over the place.
So it's kind of all over the place, and that's why T3 kind of falls through the cracks, and why they basically in the 2000s had to like start and restart this thing over and over again because it wasn't making enough money for whatever production company had it at the time.
And yeah, and they did view this, they envisioned as a soft reboot, right? So this was a sequel, but it was also going to be like, we're going to breathe new life. Christian Bale was at the peak of his powers. This was in between, of course, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. He just had done The Prestige, as we all know, and that's a great movie. So this was prime Christian Bale. I mean, I remember when this came out, I definitely had this circled on my like, this is a movie I want to see. It's got Christian Bale, of course. I knew the other Terminator movies. I was excited to see Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale. Then the Rant came out, of course, the infamous Rant that we alluded to in the intro. And then the reviews started to come in. The reviews were not good. I ended up not seeing this movie, and I didn't even care to see it on like a rental or anything like that. So it really did kind of lose its steam for me before it even really came out, and I didn't see it. You mentioned, Luke, this was in a previous unrecorded podcast, that this was the second biggest movie that weekend, so it didn't even hit number 1.
Yeah, so it is the first time that a Terminator release was not number 1 in the box office. The weekend that it came out, it opened second to Night at the Museum: Battle for the Smithsonian.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big
sequel
franchise.
to the first Night at the Museum. It also ran into a couple other movies that weekend that were either running or had just come out. So Angels and Demons, another sequel that had come out. Star Trek, the Chris Pine franchise, its first movie came out around that same time too.
I think I did see that weekend.
X-Men Origins Wolverine, everyone's favorite X-Men movie, came out. Poor Ryan Reynolds, although it did help to spawn Deadpool.
Yeah, he's in that, right?
As Deadpool.
As Deadpool.
Yeah,
but
an
different,
unspeaking role.
Yeah,
They decided to take a character who is known for talking incessantly and make him not speak at all.
But that was part of the point of that, and it was a terrible decision, obviously, from a but that was sort of his what they were doing to him as a punishment to okay, you're a smart ass, we're going to sew your mouth shut and give you all these powers, and you're going to kill people.
And speaking of terrible writing decisions, this movie was written by John Brancato and Michael Ferris initially. It then fell into rewrites. The writer's strike was also happening around this time. So this script kind of went into hell that the scripts fall into. It had 3 or 4 rewriters, and it had a certain individual who we have spoken about in past episodes that was working on set doing a lot of the rewriting. That is Jonathan Nolan, brother of Christopher Nolan, helped to do some of the rewriting. He was brought on by Christian Bale. Christian Bale was initially brought to play Marcus in this movie. So
That person that is now played by Sam
Worthington.
Yeah, for those in the...
Marcus was supposed to be the main character of this. The whole thrust of the movie was supposed to be Marcus finding Kyle Reese, John Connor's father, and kind of the backstory of how Kyle Reese, gets brought up within the post-Judgment Day world. Christian Bale reads the script as like, I want to be John Connor. And the movie has to be rewritten to make John Connor the main character of this movie, where he was kind of only alluded to and appeared in just a small amount of it in the original script. Christian Bale also takes over a heavy role in the editing of the movie after it is finally shot and everything. So this is kind of... It turns into a movie that has 2 main things that are happening in it that don't really work well together. You have the Marcus storyline, you have the John Connor storyline. Kind of seems like Christian Bale is in his own movie for the first hour of this.
Yeah, Commando.
And it doesn't make a lot of sense. And it's all to, work with the star. And he was the star.
And that's too bad because and you never know how something's gonna work out. But Christian Bale as the Marcus character and having it be that story and sort of an origin story of Kyle Reese, that's the movie. That could be a good movie.
Here's the question I have though. Like so many of us at that time hadn't seen Terminator 1. Or we talked about this. Like I hadn't seen it. So the name Kyle Reese really meant nothing to me. Having Kyle Reese and Marcus Wright be your main characters of a Terminator movie, I'm like, where's the Connors? Where's Sarah? Where's John? Those are the bankable names. And you already don't have Arnold because, of course, he's the governor of California at the time. Can't do it. So it's like, does that maybe make some sense? Not that it's good to rewrite the whole thing and hijack the operation and kind of, whatever. But
well, I'm sure that's what Bale sold to the producers, is that, like, why would you make it about these characters that we don't really care about?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you care if you know them, you care about them, but people aren't going to know them.
I would say, the vast majority of the American public knows Terminator 2. Do many know 1? Sure. But we all know and love T2, baby.
But unfortunately, like Paul was saying, in hindsight, with the knowledge that we have of all the movies that have come out, the Kyle Reese storyline is the more interesting thing.
It is.
If you know the story, if you've been following along with the movies, and the, kind of secondary story in this, the main story doesn't mean anything to the overall Terminator movies.
Yeah. The basic...
And I'll just throw this in there too. Future John Connor, so far within the movies that we've had so far, doesn't matter. He's just an idea. We get to see like the younger version, see what he could maybe become, but he's the
prophecy, man.
Yeah, but when you see the prophecy fulfilled, you never like it. Like, no one cares about the end version of John Connor. We care about him becoming John Connor because that's what we've been set up for in this movie. In the first movie, he's just an idea. He's a twinkling in Kyle Reese's eye. Mm-hmm. In the second movie, he's the young, plucky sidekick to Arnold. In the third movie, Paul.
In the third movie, we do. It ends with him kind of. You can tell that he's going to assume the role of he's in a bunker, a fallout bunker, and is answering a call out from somebody. But again, you don't see this. He has not become a resistance leader yet, but they're leaving you at that cliffhanger at that point.
Salvation, he is, for all intents and purposes, his final form. He just hasn't fully taken over as the leader of the resistance. But it's not like his character really develops anymore, other than, kind of the understanding he comes with the Marcus character.
But it is cool, since we don't have the main Terminator to be like, he is John Connor. That's immediately something that's marketable to me and I understand. Also, conspiracy time. John Connor, right? He's the prophecy. He's the savior, right? I want you to. This is the Alex Jones of it all. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at those initials. All right, J, C, John Connor. Reminds me of a different savior with the same initials. Of course, is it maybe Jesus Christ? Maybe, or the one that I know that Luke prays to every day, Jim Cameron.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I mean, again, we have to keep in mind who wrote that movie. It's true. He's like, okay, I love these initials. These are the initials of a man that
for
is.
some reason, this JC is just really working for me.
Oh my God! Like that's such a strong two initials to have. So yeah, JC, the savior, John Connor. But to make it for me, I immediately could connect with that on just like a very dumb level of like, oh, Christian Bale, he's John Connor. Oh, cool, I want to watch. As opposed to, who is he? Marcus Wright? I get it. And for those that like are really steeped in the lore of Terminator, but as far as like an easy marketing pitch, I do get it, and I do like. If we were like, oh, so there's a new Terminator movie. Oh, who is it about? This dude named Marcus Wright and then Kyle Reese. You remember Kyle Reese? Oh, you don't. Well, okay. Did you see? Oh, you didn't see what? Okay, so who does it have? Is Arnold in it? No. Is John Connor, Sarah? Well, not really. It's harder to sell.
Here's the problem: is you come in, you make that change. You gotta actually make the change and make John Connor the main character of the movie, not just make him a whole storyline, and then begin your movie with the Marcus Wright character.
Yeah, no, it's
so that for the first 15 minutes in the movie, you're like, what the hell is this movie about?
They tried to do both, and that's why it doesn't work, right? Like, I mean, it's two things. Trying to have its cake and eat it too, and it's not a good dessert.
No, This movie is also set completely in the future.
Hilarious.
This is the first movie that's set completely in post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
It suffers, I think, because of that. I think part of the charm of the Terminator movies is the fact that they are futuristic movies
With time travel.
in the technology and stuff that they have, but then they come back to our time and use all of their technology within our world, which we understand, and that grounds it a lot more in our own reality. Whereas everything that's happening and in this, you have to like envision like, why are people acting this way? Why are machines acting this way? And you're just asking all these questions that ultimately the movie doesn't care to give you answers for.
Yeah.
Instead of just having it be like, whoa, these futuristic things are back in the real world and going crazy.
You need time travel. You need time travel, and you need more horror tropes.
You need to go back to the past.
Back to the past.
That's what Back to the Future figured out.
Yeah.
You go back to a time people understand.
You go back to it.
And then people like nostalgia way more than they like, why can't machines just kill people?
You got it's very easy. You get a disgraced nuclear physicist to befriend a young boy.
Definitely not molesting him.
Yeah, is he likable? No, he's not likable. It's the old John Mulaney bit. And he goes back in the past. Oh, what does he do? Does he kill Hitler or something? No. He tries to fuck his mom. And the studios are like, great! That's wonderful. What's it called? Back to the past? No, Back to the Future.
Chris has just done a John Mulaney bit.
Whatever, it's worth it. It's look it up. It's really funny.
It is very funny. So yeah, beginning of this movie begins with Marcus. He is in a jail cell, visited by a bald Helena Bonham Carter, who works for Cyberdyne and is getting him to release his body to her after his death because he is a convicted criminal who has murdered multiple people, one of which is his brother.
Going down.
And he is about to be lethally injected by the state until he is dead.
Yep, lethally injected until he's dead. Helena Bonham Carter's on board, and so is Danny Elfman. So the little Tim Burton crew,
Yeah.
just kind of shuffled their way into this.
Wife and mistress.
Yeah, a mess of a movie. The score, not very memorable. I mean, not you see. I had to do a double take. I was like, Danny Elfman, really? So he's there, and we are not really sure what's going on, but they put him to death. He kisses her that's the price of his body is a kiss.
A kiss.
And that's great. I don't know. I thought that was a pretty eerie line, though. And that's how death tastes. So that's how death tastes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, again, have no idea what's going on in the film currently. So yeah, cool line happens, but don't get it. We now get to a part that we should begin to understand. We see John Connor. We know he's John Connor pretty early on, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's going through a military mission.
Future Wars.
And they're infiltrating a base. He sees the blueprints for the T-800 and is very concerned by this. He also, if you see in the background somewhere, Marcus's body is there. So you see basically, in the future, something's going on with what he signed over, what he licensed to Cyberdyne. And base gets blown up, and then a muddy man arises out of the ashes of that.
I did a double take on who
Is it John Connor?
Who the hell is that? Just like a
No,
random money
John
man.
Connor is gone away in a helicopter.
Yeah.
No, it is
Different
Marcus.
dude. Different. It's Marcus. Cool opening Terminator fight scene on the war. I think some of the major action is the best part of the movie, and
I do want to say, because it sounded like you were going to credit some of the filmmaking at the beginning of this movie, it's horrible. There are other parts of this movie that look very, very good, using a lot of practical effects shot on location in New Mexico, so giving it a very cool post-apocalyptic feel and stuff like that. These beginning action scenes, a lot of the stuff that's shot in the helicopter, a lot of that initial base stuff with the terrible green screen behind it, basically shot on these sound stages in front of it. Something that McGee immediately goes away from for the rest of the movie, but the first 15 minutes looks like this was tacked on all at the end, and they basically couldn't shoot it on location anymore. It looks horrible. It's one of the reasons why, the first 20 minutes of this movie, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Very disorienting.
By the way, I think that's probably where the rant took place.
Yeah, because it's definitely on a green screen.
Yeah.
And, John Connor has a very, yelling at people.
He's pissed.
Serious time.
But I will say that the fight against, we see the T-600, we see the whole James Cameron nightmare happen, right? Because you get half of the T-600 crawling. I mean, so we get a little throwback to that. And it's just showing, there's going to be this is a major scale war with Terminators. It's the first time we see that. And I don't know about T3, but certainly in the first two movies, we didn't, that's not something we got. So, as far as, the background and everything, I'm sure it looks shitty.
It's really bad. You can tell that everything that's real is immediately in the foreground. Everything that's happening in the background, the depth is all off on it.
Sure.
And
I want to look for that next time.
Definitely looks
when I never watch it again.
Definitely looks like everything that's 6 feet behind Christian Bale, he has no idea is there or occurring at all.
Interesting.
Again, it gets completely fixed for the rest of the movie and is actually shot not on a set and looks good. But yeah, the first 20 minutes of this is extreme hack, terrible filmmaking.
McG.
Like, gee.
Well, look for it. That's interesting. And then we go to the factory as people in cages. We talk about the people in cages real quick. They're the skin suits. Is that what they're making? Skin suits?
Yeah, so we can ascertain that Marcus and other people have sold the rights of their dead bodies to Cyberdyne in order to then be used as the skin suits for the T-800s or whatever version of them. We know that Arnold is like the 101 version.
And there's
his specific skin suit.
Are we assuming that they all? I mean, I know that Marcus Wright sold his himself, but the people in cages, I was assuming, were picked up by
they don't look willingly. Yeah,
they were some of the people that were
Well,
scooped possibly
yeah.
later. Not that it, I guess, maybe matters.
It doesn't matter, but we would have to assume that where they got Arnold's skin suit was from someone else.
Correct.
a buff person. There's like an old geriatric lady that we see and then we lock eyes with
but
her.
again,
Do you
that they're
think
there
that
for-
when the Arnold guys signed, Helena Bonham Carter must have been like, holy shit,
I'll
we got
give you,
one here.
I'll taste some death with you, my friend. But then the old lady, she's just like, I mean, is there like an old lady Terminator, like Edith?
Yeah, no, it's possible that they're infiltrators. You know, it's possible that they have infiltrate a nursing home or something of that nature.
Okay. I mean, and of course, eventually we get T-1000, and it's a moot point. But okay, it's interesting stuff.
So
and then
this
we
is
move on.
this is where the main characters divide. We've got the Marcus storyline. Marcus goes and happens to run into a young Kyle Reese, who is kind of out there fighting as a resistance member in Los Angeles with a mute, I don't know, I think she's mute by choice, little girl named Star.
Yeah.
John Connor is on his own storyline in his own movie, doing his own thing, where he is yelling at the leaders of the resistance, who are kind of military men. They don't believe in the prophecy of John Connor being the savior of mankind that has been prophesied by his mother throughout the past, and has kind of matriculated itself through the population of the people.
Ooh, I like that word.
You like that word?
Yes.
Woo, I didn't use that on the last one, but I am 4 cups of coffee in, and I am
Rolling.
motoring.
But we still must say that what you missed.
What's your price for flight?
Was that Long Legs? Just busts into song right there. Oh yeah! Oh, it's the birthday boy. Woo! All right. So that's yeah. No, this is we're getting slap happy. But yeah, obviously the unreleased episode needs to have that glory that it was so great.
It was.
You'll never know.
Man, it was so professional,
It was
too.
so oh my gosh.
My gosh.
Yeah, the insight. Man, I don't know.
The amount of drops that I had, now I can't use
Oh,
any
I know, they're all
drops. It's
dead. They're one and
unbelievable.
done.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Jim Cameron called in to give his opinion.
Yeah.
That's
It was
great.
crazy.
It was awesome. I mean, whatever. We'll, hey, some things are just better just talked about in legend. It's the story we tell ourselves, right? The Leftovers taught us that.
Yeah. So Christian Bale, John Connor, he's down on the sub, and the main takeaway from him down on the sub is Michael Ironside, who is the leader of the Resistance, basically does the thing where he's like, "You're on a need-to-know basis, Connor. You can't know what our plan is." And then Connor's like, "But tell me." And he's like, "All right, I'll tell you. You're in on this. Not only are you in on this, you're our main guy that's going to try this thing out," which is they have this, it's not really a MacGuffin, but like this crazy way that they're going to stop the machines.
I forgot about that already.
They can plug into the machines somehow and turn them off from the overall system that they're running on.
Total MacGuffin, yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense. Basically, the idea is that Skynet is, as long as the Skynet is in control and all these machines are online with Skynet, that they all kind of work in harmony with each other. And if you can disconnect them from the Wi-Fi, basically, you can then control the machine locally. This doesn't make any sense because they send the Terminators back in time, which would, in theory, disconnect them from Skynet, because Skynet does not exist in the past. But it is the thing that is brought in this movie as being the ultimate way that they're going to kill the machines. At the end of the movie, we end up discovering that this is all just an illusion by
Doesn't
Skynet
matter. Yeah.
and doesn't matter anyway. But where we're at currently in the movie, this is thought to be the main plan. Michael Ironside says it's gonna work. John Connor's like, how do you know? He's like, well, we haven't field tested it at all, but we know it's going to work.
Pretty sure it looks pretty good.
So John Connor decides to field test it. Him and Common go out.
I'll do it.
Make an explosion, try it out. Ends up working. So
well, first they tried it out on the cool swimming.
That is cool.
Yeah, they must have captured one of those.
The Terminal?
The Terminal. Yeah, yes.
So this was a big thing, too, is that when the first couple Terminator movies came out, people were like, why didn't people in the future just live in the ocean? Because then the machines can't get them. They bring the Terminal in this, and they're like, well, they would just release those bad boys.
Yeah, look at that, Terminal.
Another thing that's brought up that I thought was kind of funny is that apparently submarines aren't able to transmit radio waves unless they're surfacing and put an antenna above the surface. These guys do all their communication deep below sea level using radio waves.
It's the future, man.
Yeah. So they're skipping out on a lot of this stuff. But basically, the main thrust of the John Connor story arc is that he believes they have the technology now to separate these machines from their global network, and that's how they're going to defeat Skynet ultimately.
Just like any machine, it's got an off switch.
Yeah. Yep. Marcus teams up with Kyle Reese and Starr and doesn't know. He just thinks he ran into him by happenstance, and he's taking care of kids because he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Everyone deserves a second chance.
He teaches Kyle Reese how to attach a shotgun to his arm. So
that was a cool callback.
Yeah.
That was a cool callback.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they start up a Jeep Wrangler and take off into the desert, kind of like Sarah Connor, with James Cameron's dogs lapping it up in the back. And we get one of the better action scenes that this movie has when a 2-story tall robot explodes and starts pulling people out of the 7-Eleven.
That was awesome. It reminded me of Transformers with the product placement and everything, but
It reminded me of Pacific Rim.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
That's a better call.
Yeah,
Which is a killer movie.
I like
the
Pacific
first
Rim.
Pacific Rim rules.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Major big robots against monsters, awesome. This scene is cool. I liked it. It had a lot of explosions, a lot of stuff's happening. We get the very cool what are they? The Terminator robot motorcycles. Rather.
Motorcycle. We also get another kind of flying spaceship type.
Yeah, all those
thing
flybys.
that is shooting huge laser beams. It does beg the question, why are they not using these to kill people that they really want to kill?
Sending those to the past.
Yeah.
Just easy enough. Boom.
Just send that 2-story ton robot. But
machines can't go back in time.
Well, get
Put
enough
a skin
skin
scoot
to
on
cover.
it. You got enough people. You got enough skin.
Right. The skin claws.
Yeah. The old skin claws.
The old skin claws. Obviously, name of the episode, the skin claws. It's that time of year, everybody.
It is.
Everyone's gonna write a letter to Skin Claws. What do you want? It's Skin Claws here.
That's his voice.
It's the voice of Skin Claws. Because he's very German,
Oh
At the Skin Claws, you leave toenail clippings out for me.
Ew.
And some lukewarm orange
Don't
juice.
use my name in vain.
Lukewarm.
So anyway, though, the cool stuff for me in this, obviously new Terminator, new machines, 2-story machines, bikes coming out of them. We also see stuff that's been alluded to in the past in terms of the Roundup. The Roundup machines, sort of picking them up and throwing them into very War of the Worlds, where they're kind of plucking them and throwing them into the cattle, like cattle, and hauling them off. Cool stuff.
But ultimately, kind of silly. Again, a lot of stuff that occurs in this movie doesn't make any sense, but is just used to kind of move the plot forward. This action scene ends with Marcus being separated from Kyle Reese and Starr. Kyle Reese and Starr then get taken off to a Cyberdyne base, a Skynet base, basically. And he meets up with Blair, who is a part of the John Connor team the resistance squad, and that allows Marcus and Connor's timelines, their ways through this movie to be connected.
Yes.
Which, as you alluded to, is this is a lot of the clunkiness of it, is that these things are happening happenstance, but are supposed to
Be all connected.
All connected.
Well, and like Skynet is like making this all
Correct.
happen.
That Skynet
they're playing 4D chess and all this sort of stuff.
But that's not the way that it plays out on the screen at all. It plays out as if it's just happening, and it's not believable that Cyberdyne or that the machines have this under control.
Yeah, when Helena Bonham Carter comes back at the end and reveals what Marcus's mission was, you kind of do like the, oh shit, that's cool, and then you think about it and you're like, wait, no, that all just randomly happened.
100%.
Doesn't quite hold up.
There is no way, because like, yeah, we'll talk about it later, but basically this part, we now get into Blair and Marcus. They've got to make their way through post-apocalyptic world to get back to John.
Little love interest.
Little lovey-dovey stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of the, raiders coming in, trying to take the old lady away from Marcus, and he has to defend her honor.
She delivers a wonderful line where she's like, guys, don't you remember? It's us against the machines, right? Let's all keep that in mind. It's us against them. It's really lame.
She gets
I don't think she's very good.
She gets chilled in the night, even though there is a humongous bonfire that she could sit closer to in order to not be chilled. But no, she has
just
to
putting the moves on.
She's got to snuggle up to Marcus, who happens to have a really human heart.
To be fair, he did just save her life, though,
Yeah,
and
no,
so
it's
that
good.
can,
He's a handsome guy.
He's got Riz, as the kids say.
Yeah.
he's got he's the Rizzler.
He's a Rizzler. Oh, man.
I do think that it's cool. A point to note here is that whether it's the writing or the acting, it's pretty cool for me, the nuance behind the way that Marcus fights here. Him not knowing that he's a machine yet. You can tell that he's not quite. He doesn't have the strength that he would. He doesn't know that he's a machine, and so he doesn't have the strength that the machine would have. And while he's kicking their ass, it's not to the same degree that you're going to see later when he does realize that he's part machine.
Yes, true.
He's more human than human.
You got a heart?
Yeah! Oh, man, that was part of the unreleased gem. There was a huge white zombie break. Oh, man.
I am the Astro Cream, a demolition South Hill American freak. Yeah! Yeah!
All right, we got it.
Luke's tuning out.
Luke doesn't know about White Zombie, but man, it was a time. The inappropriate little intro with the woman moaning. You could only play that on certain times of the radio. Or you'd get the CD and you'd hear it.
It's
And
like
you'd be
the
like,
worst deja vu that's ever happened.
it's awesome.
Can we talk about Star Wars? And,
Oh my gosh.
and Disneyland?
Disneyland, it's so cool.
Never been.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
It's going to be great. Just wait one day. You'll experience it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah!
Here comes the rooster.
Oh, my brother used to listen to this one. And then I murdered his ass. I was so sick of hearing the rooster. It drove me insane.
They never do get into why he killed the people.
Not at all. Totally.
But the fact that you're supposed to kind of fall in love with the Marcus character, or
Yeah,
that
that
he turns
would
into a good guy would
harsh the
to
vibe.
me to me it was I got the vibe that like he was drunk driving or something and he killed. You know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
was
Like
like
he's not like a hardened criminal.
It's like
Did you get
honored,
lethally
honorable.
injected for?
Well, he took out a cop too, I think. didn't
Yeah, it was honorable. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We found out
Whatever
he was
he-
a serial killer that ate their brains.
he? But he deserves a second chance.
He feels very
He's
sorry.
fucked.
He's very.
So just add it to another part of the clunky storytelling
sense.
of
Yeah,
the,
they don't
of the
wanna-
movie.
Nobody
Don't
knows
reveal.
what's going on.
Yeah, it's great. Airtight.
And the way that it is revealed that Marcus is a machine is they are walking through some minefield and get blown up or shot or whatever, and then he gets taken to Bryce Dallas Howard,
Oh yeah, we didn't mention her yet.
who is playing the wife of John Connor, who Chris and I did not realize was a character at any point because we have not seen Terminator 3, so we do not know that John Connor has a love interest.
Yeah, and in 3, of course, they hate each other. Well, they knew each other in high school briefly, and that's how they recognized. They had shared a kiss at a party in high school. They reconnected.
And this is the Claire Danes character.
This is the Claire Danes character.
Oh, okay.
And then the T-800 that comes back that is Arnold. That's not the same T-800 that's in Terminator 2. Explains that they're going to get married and have a kid later on, and they're like, ooh, ew, I would never marry that, right? And
you're going to get married.
Right. But she is what does track kind of cool across is that she's a vet in T3, and
now she's a doctor.
Now she's a doctor, but that makes sense in apocalyptic worlds. You take whoever can, work on a cat or a dog, and now they can do heart transplants.
She's the greatest field surgeon ever. She's like Jack from Lost.
Well,
she can just do anything with anything.
Just like Sarah Connor really knows how to do a field dressing.
Yeah,
sometimes you just know
in romantic ways. So so that's good, and filling in the gaps from T3.
More to come next week.
Yeah. So Bryce Dallas Howard is trying to heal him, doing her field surgery on him, and finds out that he's a machine. She calls Common over. She's like, "You got to take a look at this," and bashes him in the head.
Yeah,
butt of a gun.
Yeah, Common being Common.
And then they chase.
Shout out Common's brother Terry Crews at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah. So Terry Crews was supposed to be a character who had a bigger role. That was all removed, but yet you still see Terry Crews dead on a battlefield at the beginning of this.
Just a random cadaver.
Just if you blink, you miss it. But.
Yeah, but it's very funny. Just look for Terry Crews. He's out there on the battlefield. So yeah, they find out that Marcus is a robot, and him and John Connor then face off. John Connor is able to say all the mean stuff that he's ever wanted to say to a Terminator.
Yeah.
They sent you back to kill my mother and to kill me. We've been doing this for ages.
You fucking amateur! He's just filled with rage, that Bale.
Also, after they have
testosterone.
that conversation, we cut back and Common is just shooting at him and basically being like, "This is for my friend! What is for my brother!"
She made her choice. Launch the bazooka!
And then they shoot him, and Sam Worthington just goes, "No!" He's not actually hurt, but he's giving him what he wants every single time. I appreciated that.
It's interesting. There's a lot of rage. Did you think
But then Common falls for the old, "Hey, John wants to talk to you."
Well, but after Blair takes the gun from him and is like, "Yeah, I'm jumping in on this too," and shoots him.
That was nice. That was a nice touch.
Yeah. But obviously, yes, they don't have any radio system with which to communicate to each other, so he has to physically walk all the way to John and be like, "Hey, what's up? I didn't need you." Oh, wait.
Cue alarm.
Because Blair is in love with Marcus, and they escape together.
Another clunky part of the story, falling in love in.
Also, Blair, after 5 more minutes of this, just becomes not a part of the movie anymore.
not needed?
Yeah, she's completely gone.
Completely gone after. Hey, he interrogates her. "How's the leg? I'll live. Let her go." She just let go. Like, how do you explain that to your men? You know what I mean? Why is she roaming free again? She just let the machine go. Let her go.
So what happens is basically John Connor has this face-off where he's like, "I've never trusted machines. They are obviously putting skin suits on them to trick us into thinking that they're humans in order to infiltrate us and all that sort of stuff." And Blair then comes back and John is talking to her, and through that conversation, she gets it through to John Connor that this Marcus guy is different. He may be a machine, but he is fully convinced he's human. And John Connor even has a couple lines later. He's like, "I looked in his eyes. He wasn't lying. He thinks he's human. So obviously he's good."
I'm a big people person. I can read people. I'm not just angry all the time.
So they end up teaming up for the last 30 minutes of this movie as they go to ultimately save Kyle Reese, who is the main guy on Skynet's list of people to kill, because if you kill the father, son doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And Kyle Reese is back at a Skynet facility, so they have to infiltrate the Skynet facility. The Marcus character is apparently able to do that because he's a machine. So
gotta show his face.
John Connor's like, yeah, you just you scan in, you're good to go, and you'll infiltrate. Let me in, and we're fine.
Not only infiltrate, be able to plug into the system and
Get the entire history of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Is it starting to make sense?
It's starting to make sense. He needs what's the Romulus with the finger? Oh, what's his name? Oh man. This is good. It's good to
Well, and then of course John Connor takes the eye from the bike that he and he ended up using that as well to open cages and do things. You know.
It's just like Andy from Romulus,
There
the
you go.
android, right?
There you
Just
go.
Use a little finger, plug it in. Beautiful.
Yeah, kind of a cool scene where he trips the moped or motorcycle Terminator dude up and then takes over his bike and does the swerve out to drive away just like Arnold has in the past.
Yeah, no, there's some nice action sequences in this thing, and that's definitely one of them.
And another callback with the music there, of course.
We get
Yes, yep, they play Guns N' Roses.
yes, and we get Christian Bale. He says, "I'll be back."
That was
his
the
wife.
worst callback.
And we get and earlier the Kyle's come with me if you want to live. They shoehorn some stuff in there, but hey, whatever. Like it's fine.
The come with me if you have to live is you got to do the fan service, but that one in particular reminds me of Star Wars, where you have the I got a bad feeling about this, and it just becomes you're waiting for it, and it just becomes terrible in every movie. Like they have to shoehorn it in there, and it's just.
Or it's a trap.
It's a trap. Well, that's good. Love that guy.
Get away from her, you bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Fan service is good if done right, and it's terrible and cringy.
Yeah,
in this case,
there's bigger problems with this movie than that. So they shoehorn it in, and then. We're at the ending, which all Terminator movies. I don't know if you knew this, but
they have to end in this way.
In a factory.
Yes.
You end in a factory. It's
a
must.
Is there molten steel somewhere? Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
That's where we're ending the movie. And so they're in here.
None of this makes any sense.
Nope.
This is horrible.
What about? But speaking of horrible, there's a point. Are we talking about the T-800? That comes out of the woodwork. That comes out.
CGI Arnold.
CG Arnold. It's like, what year was this made? It's I guess 2009. It looks horrible. It looks like we're looking at a video game.
It almost is like the Ian Holm and Alien Romulus,
which was a 2024. Yeah.
So thankfully they burn his skin off fairly quickly.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. They know
very,
what they have.
Very smart to do that.
They know that they're like, don't keep this.
Although that molten lava does a good job of turning very viscous and not spilling all over John Connor.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden he's got a little distance in there.
So within the fight, he pours molten lava on him. He then also freezes him, both of which have been used in the past to break apart even better versions of this machine in the past, neither of which does anything to this T-800.
Slows it down just a
in
little.
the future, yeah. So doesn't make any sense at all. Marcus is used as, kind of the human battering ram, much as like the Arnold character in the past, being able to take the blows from the robot over and over again until the robot senses that he has a human heart and can just punch him square in the heart.
That's easy.
And stop him.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the martial arts. You put your hand out, and you just
exactly
the quick punch.
Yeah. Yet
From
so
Kill Bill 2, that's how they.
There you go. How she gets out of the casket.
Yeah, that's the quick punch.
Yeah.
The five-finger death punch or something. I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty badass.
No, the 5-finger thing.
Oh yeah, there's 5 points to that one.
Fists of Fury. So yeah, it all culminates in Christian Bale, basically trying to run away. He starts Marcus's heart again, and
obviously easy.
They kill the Terminator by stabbing the back of his head.
Yep,
which
they
is
use
also,
the old back of the neck trick.
Yeah, which is also talked about earlier in the movie as a way to shut down the machine.
Disorient the machine.
Yeah.
Disorient the machine.
What has happened is that John Connor has been stabbed.
Really horribly.
Yeah.
Like, definitely looks fatal. Like a huge metal pole went through his body.
Yes.
I was expecting Marcus to carry him out, but no, he just puts him on his shoulder, and John Connor's still kind of walking,
he's going.
limping out with a huge iron
Pole.
piece of shrapnel through his heart. Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit. We see this in AVP Requiem. Do you remember one of the characters at the end gets killed the same way, and they're like, they're fine. Don't worry about it. It just missed his heart. It's totally good.
Hit him in the shoulder. Just winged him.
But definitely. I mean, that's a stretch, right? To think that because by the end they give him the little detonator, another callback, right? And they're like, "You do it, John," and he's like, "I'm totally fine. Okay."
Well, and a part you guys might not have picked up on.
I picked up
the
on
power. Well, the power source, the nuclear power sources.
Yeah,
that comes in 3.
Correct.
That we find out that he is powered by two, not just one, but 2 of those. The T-800s are powered by those little nuclear.
But the newer versions of it, the old T-800s that have been sent back in the past before that Arnold are not
correct,
powered by, or else they would have, when he got smashed by the thing in the Terminator, what should have caused a nuclear explosion does not.
But
when he's lowered into the lava in T2, should have caused a nuclear explosion, did not.
But in T3, he damages one of them, and he has to take it out by himself. He tosses it while they're driving. Sorry.
Can't be spoiled. Okay. I gotta experience this.
Anyway, the point being that is what he's wrapping the cord around, and that's what's gonna lead to the huge explosion.
Power cells to cause a nuclear explosion to blow up the Skynet facility, which also then would have radiation poisoned every single person in the helicopter as it's flying away, because
he did they're arranged to that thing, because I did think you pushed that button a little too quickly.
Way too quickly.
Huge nuclear explosion, that's fine. I can still smell the ashes. Okay.
No, they should have gotten microwaved.
Okay. Yeah, that was my first thought, like a little quick there.
Yes.
So, and that's it. Then
they bring him back to the base, baby.
The fucking ending.
This is such an emotional part. Come on.
You could tell that I already started to mentally check out during that. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're done here. We're up. Yep, he's gonna kill him. And but yes, and I love the little like Sandals Jamaica like outdoor cabana hospital that they have.
Bryce Dallas Howard's like, I've done everything I can for him, but his heart's not strong enough. He's not going to be able to do it.
Come on, take mine.
Marcus is like, I've got a human heart. Take mine.
It beats
a very strong one.
Fast as hell.
And that gets us to, did you guys know how this movie was supposed to end?
No. Fill us in.
Yeah.
So there was an ending that was written and I believe tested with some audiences. It leaked. And it caused such a ruckus by the fan community that it was then changed. This is how the movie was supposed to end.
All right.
John Connor dies. They then take his skin and put it over Marcus's skeleton.
Get the fuck on.
And then Marcus becomes evil and he kills all of like Common, Bryce Dallas Howard, all of them, and becomes the John Connor in the future by visuals only. And he's kind of a false messiah for the rest of what the movies were going to be.
Wow. So there would just be evil John Connor.
Yes, but people thinking that he's the real John Connor.
Would there be a real? No, but there would be
so no. So who sends it? So then it's evil John Connor that sends the T-800 back in time to say.
I don't think
that's where we're not even trying.
I don't think they had figured that far into the future, but that's how like the trilogy was going to continue. Is that this version of John Connor died? This
would have given us basically this new trilogy a different time. It's called a splice in the timeline. At that point.
They would have. Again, they decided to change it. They decided to give Marcus the hero death at the end. He saves John Connor's life ultimately, and John Connor can go on.
Because everybody deserves a second chance, even if they're a serial killer that eats people's brains.
Yeah!
Allegedly.
If you ever need a pause, you just do the Rob Zombie, yeah. I feel like that's just a good way to go about life.
yeah,
that's interesting though.
That's what it would have been.
So yeah, I have questions, but I don't think like it's appropriate.
Well, it doesn't ultimately matter.
It doesn't matter. They didn't think it out. Like, so would there have been like good robots? I don't know, like how that would have all worked.
Well,
But
the resistance would have just been a sham. Essentially.
In a callback line to the movie, that hurts my brain to think about this.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not even talk about it.
yeah, I'm starting to black out.
That's it, guys.
On that note,
That's Terminator Salvation. For the second time.
Yes. Beautiful. Luke, who's your MVP? Or wait, no, I'm sorry.
Have you ever done this before?
This is my first time. First time, guys. I'm a little.
This
It's like when yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So my favorite scene, Chris.
Favorite scene. I want to start with that.
I feel like we're all gonna share a favorite scene. My favorite scene is the explosion, the 2-story tall robotic of the 7-Eleven. Specifically, the motorcycle chase scene when they're in the tow truck with the thing at the front of it to plow through everything.
I'll say, yeah. I mean, it's hard not to pick that scene. I'll say specifically when the first pincher comes through and grabs the older lady, and it pans back, and you see the 2-story, machine Terminator. Pretty cool.
I'm gonna say the scene where Christian Bale freaks out at the guy holding the camera. oh wait, that's not in the movie. Okay, shit. That would be it. Because that was, I tell you, we watched that. We celebrated before the episode by watching that, and man, was that not more entertaining than the entire Terminator Salvation film? I think it was. But yeah, I guess if I'm gonna pick a scene, then I have to choose that action sequence. Because it's
definitely the highlight of the
movie.
I
mean, the giant Terminator. I mean, you guys kind of handled the front end and the back end, so I'll just agree with you.
Yep. Your favorite performance within the movie?
Oh, me. Well, I will easily.
Do you want me to take it over again?
No, oh my God, I'm so ready. I would go with my man, and we're gonna get his name right now. Anton Yelchin is gonna be for Kyle Reese, because I think he's really good, and as we in the episode that will never air, we talked about how he tragically died.
The actor,
yes, not Kyle Reese. He lives on forever.
Well, he does tragically die in The Terminator.
Yes, both die, but this one was in real life in 2016. He was 27, and you have an accidental
vehicular death. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he's also in Star Trek and some other movies. Yeah, he does a great job here and brings a little bit of heart and to the movie. So that's my best performance.
I have an idea of who you're going to pick, Paul.
You guys aren't going to agree with me, but I think this is what's great about films. Is that people have different takes, but I really think Sam Worthington did a good job.
Yeah.
I really think I get it that it's semi-well-known, and that is a little bit of a hack to be a machine and not have to. Maybe we talked about that on the part that got cut out.
We talked about that in the bathroom break.
But I do think there was a lot of nuance to it in terms of him. Like I did mention, him not knowing he was a machine, not knowing he was part robot, and not having the power that that he has later in the movie when he finds out. So I really think he delivered a solid performance in what was a difficult. He really delivered a solid performance and was a difficult ask.
Yeah, I mean I think he's pretty solid. I think we talked about in the Lost episode that he's kind of a one-note actor, but it works for these particular types of movies.
It's a hack.
Yeah.
If you're not that good, be a robot.
Yeah. My performance of the movie, Jada Grace, who plays Star, who does not who does not speak in this movie, and therefore is the least convoluted character in any way because she is not messing with the plot of this, even though it makes no sense that she does not talk and does not pay off in any way.
There's zero payoff.
She's just there.
She is just there.
But she doesn't mess it up.
Again, this movie for me is just there in the in the whole scheme of the Terminator world. Jada Grace, you're my performer.
Wow.
Way to go, little girl.
Jada Grace. Hope you're listening.
Does she go on to do anything else?
I don't want to look that up.
All right.
MVP of the movie. Is there an MVP of this movie?
There was a Jada Grace show that had 12 episodes of a television series, so otherwise not really involved in a lot. But anyways,
There you go.
who's your? I'm sorry, I just wanted to vamp to give you a little time to think of who could potentially be the MVP for.
My
TS.
MVP is going to be Anton Yelchin, the guy who played Kyle Reese. I think that part of the movie is the only part that actually works. I think he's the best character going in the movie. And I really would have liked to see a movie more focused on that storyline all the way through.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that one. For me, that's I'm a sucker for the way I see this movie is it could have been a really good origin story for Kyle Reese had it been done correctly. And so if I look at it just like that, that was the what we call it, the MVP.
Yeah.
The MVP. What do you think, Chris?
Oh wow, MVP of this one. It's tough. I'd like to just say what you guys said to move on, but instead I will say Christian Bale because he kind of ruins it all. But I mean, you talk about a guy that's like, I have the star power. I'm coming in. I am the head of this project. I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna get butts in the seats, kind of, sort of. I'm gonna take over the script. I'm gonna sink this movie and make sure that there are no other Terminator Salvation movies going on. Christian Bale. That you are the thing. That if we think of Terminator Salvation, I think most people think of that rant, and that's like, what's this movie known for? Oh yeah, it's the movie where he freaked out and people recorded it on tape. So Christian Bale, you are my MVP.
Makes a lot of sense. He is heavily involved in the making of this movie. So our rating for this movie. Before we get into the rating, I kind of alluded to it before. I'll give my rating, then I'll get into this whole thing. I think this is like a 4.6. It's a pretty terrible movie in my opinion. There's some stuff that's pretty good. If I were to compare this to a movie that we've covered in the past before, this is the Alien Romulus of the Terminator movies for me. Obviously, I haven't seen any of the other ones, but just the way that it uses these callbacks as ways to be like, wink at the audience and stuff like that. There's nothing to it in itself that feels like, yes, that's the part that I really like about Romulus, or this is the part that I like about Salvation. Salvation kind of has that with the humongous robot and stuff like that. But all the way up to, using Ian Holm as the CGI character to call back to. We've got Arnold in this as the CGI face to call back to. It's garbage. I still don't like Romulus. I'll never probably watch it again. I think it's dumb.
Hey now. It's not that bad.
So, Terminator Salvation, the
Good.
Alien Romulus of this series, 4.6 is my rating.
Alrighty. I just want to start with when I'm rating this, I thought a lot about it. I want to start with the passage that makes me think of this. So it goes, I am the Astro Creep, a demolition style hell, American freak. Yeah, I'm the crawling dead, a phantom in a box, shadow in your head. Yeah. So with that being said, I think it makes perfect sense. I'm giving it a 4.2. Paul, what do you think?
I've got to give it over a 5 because I wrote to you guys and I said, I get the hate for this movie, but I can actually like some of it, and
Bad for it. I love it.
But I did watch it. Then I watched the director's cut, so I watched it probably twice as much as either of you guys watched it, and I liked it less the second time I watched it, which is not a good a good thing to have to say about a movie that I'm about to rate. I'm going to go 5.4.
All right. I mean, there's definitely good stuff in there. There's some good action. There's some stuff, yeah. And it's
And
good.
like I said, I'm a sucker for I'm a sucker for those, and just like Romulus, like you said, where it's a movie that's inserted itself into a timeline, and so. Call it an origin story. Call it
just having fun with the.
It's like Rogue One in Star Wars, except Rogue One's really well done.
So
Yeah,
here's a capper discussion. Probably something I should have brought up earlier on the show, but I just remembered that I was going to talk about it. So we talked about in the past 2 movies how they're kind of like slasher films. Especially the Terminator is a slasher horror type film. I think this movie, along with Romulus in a way, takes on the zombie post-apocalypse kind of horror feel. I feel like a lot of the machines in Terminator Salvation are acting kind of zombie-like. You're shooting them, they're losing limbs, but they're still coming after you the entire time. I think if they leaned more into the Kyle Marcus storyline, they make it even more of a zombie horror type movie. I think this works a lot better. Do you guys agree that this is more of like a zombie horror as opposed to a slasher horror?
Yeah, even to the part when we get introduced to Kyle Reese and he traps the T-600, and just like a zombie shoots off, or a zombie would just chew off their own limb, and I think they lean more into that for sure.
Yeah, I made the note when I was watching to be like, this does it have maybe little inklings of horror, maybe the zombie horror, yeah. But it really is. You could not watch this and be like, yeah, it's kind of like a horror movie. Like it's an action movie that has, the robots are the bad guys, but it doesn't really capture any of that suspense, any of that stuff that we see on full display in 1 and in 2. Is 2 an awesome action movie? Of course it is, but still there are those elements of horror that are the cornerstone of what makes Terminator good, and I don't think this movie has any of it. So yes, if they could lean more into that, whether it's yes, and the zombie would be a great route to take. I think that this would be a better thing.
And even Mick G in the creation of this movie had people read Cormac McCarthy's The Road, a movie that I believe also came out this year.
With what's his face?
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah,
great book. Has that post-apocalyptic feel to it. They shot in New Mexico. They used this extra silver filtering on a lot of the shots in order to give it more of that kind of hazy,
it did look hazy,
post-apocalyptic feel to the visuals. Again, you just lean into stuff, McG, and it would have potentially worked a lot better. Maybe have Jonathan Nolan rewrite the whole thing, instead of just doing some work on set and stuff like that. I believe that within the whole, hour and 15 minutes of our podcast, we've developed a better movie than what they showed on screen, which is ultimately the main problem with this movie. Is there's a lot of good ideas. They just chose to do none of them, or tried to do every single one of them all at the same time, and it fails.
I think that's a better way to say it. They tried to do all of it instead of doing one thing really well. They tried to do all of it, and it was all done really poorly.
Yep.
And that's what happens when you lose someone like James Cameron as the man at the helm of the movie, where he has his vision, he has the power to make that vision come to light. McG he's
no James Cameron.
Well, he's a studio guy. Like he's getting put in there. He's taking notes from the studio. He's not really fighting back on any of it. He claims he has a vision, but doesn't actually go through with any of it. And it just kind of gets bowled over by, hey man, this needs to make money.
Imagine getting a call. Hey guys, it's hey Luke, what's up? It's McG.
I'm in, baby.
How you doing?
Did your grandma name you?
Yeah, McG. I call him McG. Oh, little McG.
What?
I sent him $5 in a Christmas card.
Yeah, what number on the McDonald's dollar menu?
It's a
Take the McG.
low one because
Very low.
A McNothing burger.
All right, so that is Terminator Salvation. Out of order, we'll be giving you Terminator 3 next week. We'll bring our T800 again, Paul, along with us. He'll be on that. And we will somehow, some way watch T3 all together.
We're doing it for you. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
I'll be back.